And just going to record here. Give me 1 second. Just letting some more on. All right, it looks like it's 8:05. So I just wanted to join you again, Rachel Lopez, Texas United mentor with United Realty. These last transactions that I've had, and I have 8 years in the business, have really brought additional questions to me when I am preparing now to speaking to my buyers and sellers. So these are important questions to ask, above your relationship building questions during your initial discussions. I feel like if I would have asked some of the questions ahead of time or been more knowledgeable about some of these, and every transaction is different, guys, but knowing how to better service our clients ahead of time will make the process smooth and easy. So avoid closing delays by asking questions. We get so excited, we're taking our listings, we have a new buyer, and we're just building those relationships, but just step it up a notch and ask more questions. I began to feel like buyers are liars and sellers are worse. And that was just me taking these deals personally, and just, reflecting on some of the things that went through these deals. But I stepped back and, let's all be serious here, because we're all here to learn, buyers, sellers, and ourselves. So are buyers liars, or do they just plain don't know? Sellers are worse. They're embarrassed, or maybe sometimes they just don't know. So to avoid, looks like it dropped off. You guys see my screen? No. Can you hear me?
Hey, Rachel, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. You just can't see my screen.
No, it looked like it disappeared. I did see it earlier, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you. No screen.
Yeah,
Okay,
but we can hear your voice fine.
Thank you. I'm just giving you
So you just might have to
second.
reshare again.
I'll reshare. There we
Now
are.
now we can see you.
Thank you. So yikes. I mean, I felt like yikes in this process. We want to avoid delays. And all in all, you guys, we are here to help. If they are embarrassed or they just don't know, by asking these questions, we will be able to guide our buyers and our sellers much better. So as a buyer agents beware. These are some tips from the lenders. This actually happened to me at the end of the closing, close to the end. And this was also occurred to one of my mentees most recently, caught by a lender in the beginning. So everyone knows, once we go under contract, we must submit earnest and option money within the first 3 days. That earnest money and that option money also needs to have be verifiable funds. So no large cash deposits without a verifiable source. This is huge. Maria's lender, she caught it in the beginning. We were able to correct it, and it did not get to delay the closing, which I almost experienced busting a complete deal, because the lender caught this same large cash deposit, this same instance, in the very end, the last week when we were going to close, and it almost delayed the closing. So make sure your funds are verifiable. Buyer agents. Is your client using a 1031 exchange program to purchase? This also just happened to me. We go under contracts and we give a closing date, and you know, title and everyone works super hard to meet those closing dates. But things do occur. Things occur that we are not, because we are not asking these questions, or our sellers do not know of judgments or liens, and it can delay your closing. So you will then have to approach your sellers and ask for more time, and then it can become penalties for your buyers. There are time limits to purchase without penalties. So knowing about them ahead of time and communicating these with your seller's agents will prevent delays. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go back. Seller agents, warning signs. Warning signs, warning signs. Who has ownership interest in the property? How did you obtain the property? Are you current with your loan payments? Marital status and death. So knowing a little bit about these items, of course, when we get to title, you have to have those who have interest in the property sign off. And if one of those persons is no longer around because we are now separated, or there is now a death, then there are further questions that are going to be asked. So these are warning signs for us to be able to catch ahead of time. If anything comes up, then we can start discussing them immediately with your title agents. Seller agents, are your sellers current with their loan payments? If not, guide them to their final payoff statements. If they don't know, the final payoff statements will let them know, and it will allow you to know as well. Have they received any notice or threat of foreclosure? If your sellers have disclosed this, of course, we have to move faster. If we don't ask this question and our sellers are embarrassed and they just do not want to tell us that they are not current with their loan payments, or that they have a threat of foreclosure, this can cause serious delays. It can cause actually deals to bust if we don't communicate properly with these lenders and the lawyers in foreclosure status. Same thing. Are there any unpaid judgments against the seller? Title pools, these will appear, title pools everything. And if there is any unpaid judgment against your seller, if we know these things ahead of time, for instance, just recently, my client had a judgment from taxes from Spring ISD. And knowing this ahead of time, title was able to get with them, pull final payoff sheets ahead of time, and work with the people who have judgments or liens against the home. So knowing these, and these are hard questions to ask. And I want to say that they're on your forms, guys. I mean, some of these forms that we send to our clients, our buyers and our sellers, some of these questions are there. And I don't think that you should just allow them to write something down. Communicate, ask them these questions, because knowing them, you'll be better prepared. Seller agent, do you have foreign seller? It will affect the seller's final net. Your seller will pay additional taxes at closing. If seller is a foreign individual, the amount depends on the percentage of the sales price. That's how much interest, excuse me. And they will get FIRPTA withholding. Sorry, guys. And that can delay. Not knowing that they have additional taxes can affect the overall net. Affecting the overall net for your seller can, again, delay or bust a closing for you at the end if your seller is not happy with the final payoff. Buyers, sellers, what do you do if this happens to you? If any of these situations happen to you, Involve your title company, inform them of anything upfront to prevent delays. So as you go through, you do see some sellers that open title with title companies before they're even under contract. And I believe that this is super responsible of the clients. They're actually of the seller agents. They're actually taking that initial step to communicate and work out any of these issues that we just talked about. You're not alone. What I have learned is Fernando, Carol, Amy, everyone at our brokerage is so willing to be there for you guys. These are instances, like I said, I've been an agent for 8 years. They just happened to me in the last 4 deals, a little bit of everything that I just talked about. And just sitting back and kind of taking some time to really review and think about what I could have done better as an agent to support my clients better, and to be more knowledgeable myself, is really to ask more questions. But the main thing also, you guys, I want you to know you have an awesome broker. You can go to them if you have any needs. Fernando made a joke and he said, Rachel, you never called me last year. Well, I never had this many difficult situations or weird questions, but I just want to express that a lot, that everybody is there to take care of you, because even myself as a mentor didn't, want to go out or ask different questions to my head team. So don't feel like that, please. We're all here for you. Everybody is on your side. So these questions to prevent deals from busting, prevent amendments from pushing back closing dates, extra paperwork for you guys. Buyers and sellers, they can walk away, if they get tired, if we can't figure any of these, hiccups out, a death, a judgment, a lien, an ownership issue. If we cannot figure these things out, the seller, the buyer, either or, they can get upset and walk away from a deal. And you guys work very hard. So having one party, feeling like the other party is hiding things or causing complications, that is not a great conversation to have. Another agent, one of your peers on the other side calling you and asking you, is your client hiding things, or, should they be worried? Buyer, we're in this deal to make, to get to the closing table, right? So communication is best in every situation. So I know this is a short training, but you guys look out for Carol's training with Capital Title. They have an amazing training that goes over each one of these steps and more, step by step. I believe it's a 2-hour CE class. So keep a lookout out for that. Go to these classes so you can learn things to help your buyers and your sellers along the way and make things smooth. Thank you guys for joining. Anybody have any question? Knowing more brings happier clients, and it gives you the best way to guide and protect. And I mean, protect yourselves too, because one of these instances, if we hadn't known which one of those judgment or liens was, the seller could have walked away owing. And thank God we do have our channels. Title will always be there to back you and help you find these things, but asking questions ahead of time just makes everything smooth. So I thought I would bring this to you guys. I can share this presentation with anyone that needs it, if they didn't jot anything down. But these are advanced questions, a little bit more in depth, but do not be scared to ask them. You look more presentable, you sound more knowledgeable, and we're all about making the process smooth and simple. Any questions? Okay, thank you, guys. You can always reach me by my cell phone. You can contact me directly, 832-207-3799. If you run into anything difficult, I won't say I'm an expert, but I have been there and done that at this point. So please feel free to call me and we'll chat about it. But have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job. Thanks.
Thank you.